Moving on in chapter 11, we're going to start working on 11.2, which is again inference for means, but this time it's for independent samples. So we scroll through and you can see, hey, look, 6 steps, just like all the other hypothesis tests we've done. And in this time, they gave us summary data right here. They're giving us the means, they're giving us the standard deviations, they're giving us sample size. We're not having to find any differences or anything like that. Moreover, we wouldn't want to find differences because that's really for matched pairs data, and this is independent data, meaning the two samples are not related. So for example, here I have the addiction to nicotine levels for 7th grade males and 7th grade females. All right, so we're going to test whether there's significant difference between male and female students. All right, let me type up the null and alternative and I'll be right back. There, and while I'm at it, I typed up all the rest. I should mention that in both the last videos and these videos, I'm not bothering to write up the test statistic in its long form. Of course, that's something I would expect you to do, but I just didn't bother. So if you want to write it up, feel free. Here, that's the formula for it. Okay, so matter of fact, I will fill it in right now. Hold on 1 second. I'll bring right back like magic. Poof, there it is. I still didn't do it for 11.1, but you'll just have to deal. Now, I've got it all written up here. Now notice, because the null hypothesis is that these two are equal to each other, then when you subtract them, they're just going to be 0. Okay, so that part right there. So it's male and female, 0. So we need to find this test statistic, and what we can do is we can use the calculator to help ourselves. So I'm going to keep track of these numbers, hopefully. All right, so let me go to stat. Oops, I got to move this out of my way here. Stat, tests. Now you're not going to do a t-test. That was for the differences for matched pairs. You're going to choose number 4, which is a 2-sample t-test, because this is 2 samples and it's a t-test. You choose that. Now we don't have data on this one. We were given statistics, so we'll have to enter them in longhand. Now let me change my screen so I can see it. There. Okay, so x1 bar for us was, and it doesn't really matter which one, so I'm going to pick the female, 2.8, enter. And then the standard deviation for females was 3.6, and the N1 was 150. And then x2 was for the males, so that was 1.6, x bar, excuse me. And then sx for 2 was 2.9. And N2 was 182. Enter. It's a not equal to test, so I'll leave it there. I'm always going to choose pooled no in this course. I'm not going to pool my variances. So I'm going to go down to calculate, and I press enter. And I can see my test statistic right there is 3.295. So that big honkin' square root thing is 3.295, and I didn't have to find it myself, which sounds like a grand plan. Okay. Then I can also see the p-value. Oopsie. The p-value is right here. It's 0.0011. So let me type that up. 0.0011. And then while I'm on the subject, I would definitely reject the null hypothesis. I don't even think they gave us an alpha, but we would generally guess it would be alpha equals 0.05. If we're not given one, that's the standard one you pick, or 0.01. 0.01 is a good one as well. So we could say because the p-value, which is equal to 0.0011, is less than alpha. All right. And remember, when you reject, you say there is sufficient evidence to support the claim that male and female 7th graders differ in their addiction to nicotine levels. Done. Now remember, of course, that when you look up here, you should be able to double check. It was a two-tailed test, see? Right here at the top it says mu1 is not equal to mu2. And you should be able to check everything over and make sure that it makes some kind of sense for you. All right. And also keep straight, that this is the 2-sample t-test. That's for independent samples. When you're doing the dependent samples like 11.1, you just do a regular t-test but on the differences themselves. All right, I'll see you back here probably for a confidence interval. See you then.